Long as I'm the number one, I don't care who come after. When I came from Africa, they call me booty scratcher. Now they scream a nigga name when I say who's the master.
What's up, people? Welcome back to the BCMA podcast. That's the Black Clover Martial Arts podcast. It's your boy Lucky from Lucky's Muay Thai. This is episode number 83. I didn't touch on Takeru versus Superlek in the last episode as I was rambling like crazy. And this is a super good fight, and it's important, and nobody's really talking about it. So we'll touch on that because that fight's happening literally tomorrow. PFL bought Bellator, and they're doing a champ versus champ in Saudi Arabia, February 24th. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. And then we'll talk about why is nobody talking about these things like on the grand scale. But first, if you like the show, keep the like, hit the subscribe button, tell a friend, drop a comment below in the comment section so that this video gets some traction. Thanks for supporting. I super appreciate it. If you want to join the gym, check this out. Okay, first, Takeru versus Superlek. I don't know how much anybody knows about these people if you're not really into kickboxing or Muay Thai. Takeru is a 3-time K1 kickboxing champion, and he is a KO artist. Superlek, obviously, becoming more and more legendary. He has the flyweight world title right now for kickboxing in one. And Takeru was supposed to be fighting Rodtang. Rodtang got injured. So now Superlek steps up, puts his belt on the line, and this should be a banger. It's literally happening tomorrow, Saturday, the 26th. Or sorry, the 27th. I don't know how to call this. I really think that both of these dudes are sick. Takeru said he's going for the KO, which I can understand. He is definitely more skilled in kickboxing. He definitely has the advantage as far as like experience in kickboxing and under kickboxing rules. The rule set is not the same as Muay Thai. For those that don't know, they don't really allow a clinch. There's no elbows, and there's no clinch knees. Like you have to throw the knee, let go, kind of thing. So you can't hold the person and throw several knees, and there's no sweeping, all these different things. So I would only say that Takeru has more experience. It does not mean for a second that Superlek is going to bow down in any way. He clearly has the belt, has shown some real improvement in boxing inside and doing certain things, slipping punches, a lot of things that are necessary for the kickboxing game. I think the only real problem is I don't know that he sits down on his punches enough to really be able to hurt Takeru. He's going to have to really trust that his legs are going to lead him to victory. He doesn't want to get into a firefight, boxing firefight with Takeru. I don't think that's wise. So, man, I don't know. Who y'all got? Let me know. I'm going to take Takeru in this fight. I have to, just based off of how well he's done in kickboxing and under this rule set, and his game is particularly made for this right now. So I predict a new flyweight world title holder, Takeru, in his fight versus Superlek, and then I'm sure Rodtang is right behind him, and that fight we'll talk about when that comes. On this same card, Cade Rotolo is battling it out in jiu-jitsu. People hate when they say fighting. Is fighting Tommy Langaker, I think that's how you say his name, for a second time for the lightweight title in jiu-jitsu, or in grappling, maybe they're calling it. But the last time it was a serious battle. It was back and forth, a lot of transitions, and Cade ended up winning. But it was competitive, and I think that's the reason why they're doing it again. I foresee in the future, hopefully, there's going to be some bigger fights for grappling. They have a couple of major stars, a bunch actually, and they could really start to make, you know, an MMA, jiu-jitsu. I mean, it could be something, because one kind of does special fights where it's boxing, kickboxing, MMA, and in different rounds and those kind of things. So perhaps we will get a boxing, kickboxing, grappling fight where it's all 3 rounds are different, or maybe a kickboxing, grappling, MMA fight, or something like that, where it's a mix of different rounds and grappling is one of the rounds. I actually think that would be sick. Hit me up if you want some more great ideas, Chatri, because I got a few more. Also on this card, I don't even know. I mean, Shinya Aoki and Sage Northcutt. Like, I'm a Shinya Aoki fan, but old ass Shinya Aoki, bro, the guy is still dope, can still grapple, can still fight, but, and, you know, Sage Northcutt is maybe not the greatest matchup for him, but maybe if they end up in a grappling situation, Sage Northcutt doesn't have the experience to keep Shinya Aoki off his leg or off his back or whatever the case may be. But I don't want to say Aoki should hang it up, but I don't think he needs to fight young dudes. Not that Sage Northcutt is young. I don't even know how old he is. How old is Sage Northcutt? Let's find out. I mean, let's see. He's 27 years old, so he's not old. He's not near his prime yet. It's not even, for me, man, it kind of feels like they like to put the old cows out to pasture or whatever it is, you know? And I don't like stuff like that. I mean, you sign the contract, you make the money, it's your shit. I think he definitely can beat Sage Northcutt if it comes down to some grappling situations, but I'd hate to see him get knocked out or by some spinning kick and then watch, you know, I'm still doing flip Sage Northcutt, you know, cut an anime promo with him in the background. So that's just kind of how I feel about that. But yeah, Takeru versus Superlek. It's going to be on one championship 165, and it's pay-per-view. It's in Japan, which, man, I wish I was there to see it, to be honest. Let's move on. PFL versus Bellator. I don't really know a ton about the event yet. They did the matchups. They put out a poster. It looks great. I mean, it really looks great. But the point is that they decided to do something I think was a great idea, and that's to take the champs of the 2 organizations that are now under one umbrella and make them fight. Have them fight. Don't make them fight. They'll want to do this. You know, this is that situation where we talk about cross-promotion. Well, they don't need to cross-promote. They have the 2 organizations. They can do the cross-promotion themselves and make a thing of it. And it kind of makes me happy. I mean, they lost Kayla Harrison to the 135 division in the UFC, where she's fighting Holly Holm for UFC 300. Now, I can't even, it's weird. That whole situation is weird to me, but it's not my business, so it can be weird. I don't get I mean, listen, if Kayla Harrison's going to make 135 and always be a 135, the only thing I see is that she left there because she's going to make this fight with Holly Holm. She's going to potentially beat Holly Holm, and they're going to bring Amanda back. And then that will be the big fight. It's unfortunate that we didn't get to see her fight Cyborg. I think that would have been a great sort of prime situation for her to show her skills and like why she should be fighting Amanda at some point. But I guess Holly Holm will do at 40 years old. And if Kayla beats her decisively and smashes her face like she does sometimes to people, Amanda will come out of retirement. This whole thing is, it seems like it's being already sort of set up. You know, Amanda already talking about she's, you know, a fighter at heart and this and that, you know, sort of hinting at coming out of retirement. Kayla signing, you know, it just feels like this is where they were going anyway. So kudos to her, I guess. She made the move for her. Hopefully she's making some dough, which I'm assuming is the deal, because she apparently wouldn't go without the dough. So there it is. But let's get back to this champ versus champ. I think that this is like one of the best things that could happen. And the weirdest thing to me is that people always say, and I just heard Joe Rogan say this the other day, that you can fight in other organizations and you can do this and you can do that. But if you're not in the UFC, you're not fighting the best fighters in the world. And I'll have to say that on some level, some time ago, that was probably true. Where we are now is there are great fighters all over. I've watched some of the Russian organizations fights, and in some of those places, it seems to be like nothing but Khabibs. So I'm not so certain about the UFC has the best fighters in the world anymore. And I don't think I ever was like, stuck on that. I mean, I guess I was at the beginning because there wasn't really other places to choose from. And they bought everybody and basically took care of that. So what they have in the UFC that the PFL doesn't have and one championship doesn't have is the best marketing. They don't necessarily have the best fighters, but they damn sure have the best marketing. The thing that bothers me about this Takeru versus Superlek fight and this PFL versus Bellator champ versus champ, which, I mean, the champ versus champ, they have still time to promote, is that at least in the US market, you got to sell the people something. And usually what happens is, or what happened, at least in the past, was the UFC bit off of that whole Floyd Mayweather 24/7 or whatever he was doing at that time, and they started doing the same thing for their athletes. And people love that. They want to know the athlete's story. They have to resonate with the people. And I believe that one championship is done really well, very good production. The belt's enormous, whatever that means. They've brought in some good talent. Their fighters, the fights are terrific. They are hitting you at all fronts: kickboxing, Muay Thai, MMA. They have Friday fights at Lumpini, which are Muay Thai fights, which are great. Like, they really, jiu-jitsu or grappling, they really cover everything when it comes to like combat sports and that kind of thing. PFL has changed the sort of dynamic by doing a tournament where you can win $1 million. And, the UFC had a fighter they lost, went over there, won $1 million. They felt like maybe they dropped a bag on that guy. I mean, Bellator is longevity. I mean, they've been around for a minute. Like, we can knock and say whatever we want about them. They've had some good fights. They've had some weird fucking fights. They've done a bunch of different shit, but they're still here. Now, they're bought by PFL now, but they're still Bellator at the moment. This should be a huge, huge marketing opportunity to tell everybody about the fighters, everybody about their stories, everybody about why this guy's a champ and that guy's a champ and they're going to fight, and this girl and that girl and that. I mean, all these different opportunities to tell about their best fighters. These are guys that hold the belts, and I think there's a couple that don't. But like, here's an opportunity to really tell their story and get people interested. And it's totally, totally worth it. This is going to be, I think, a great card. But again, you want to sell this pay-per-view, you need to tell everybody who's on it and why. I would watch this card just for the Thiago Santos Yoel Romero fight. You could sell that to me and I would watch this card. I wouldn't even care what else was on it, because that to me is, I would love to see that. I mean, you got Clarissa Shields, the greatest woman boxer of all time. You got Aaron Pico's on this card. I mean, this card is crazy. Jason Jackson, Magomed Kuramov. Yeah. Johnny Eblin. I mean, this is crazy, man. Ryan Bader. These are great, great fighters and a lot of champs, and they're putting their belts on the line against the other champs. Listen, the problem here is not whether or not the UFC has the best fighters in the world, because everybody knows they have issues with payment. Everybody not paying people, but how much they're paying, selling your having to sign away your likeness, all these different issues that might come along with the UFC. But best fighters, best marketing. Because you know if you go over to the UFC, there's an opportunity that you could turn your one night terrific, crazy fight into a long-term monetary opportunity. So they don't offer that necessarily in the other organizations, but what they do offer is a little bit more cash. So they may not be able to make you some kind of superstar, but they could give you some cash in your pocket. And some would offer that might be better because some people, the majority of these guys are just not going to be superstars. So would you rather have the cash or would you rather be, hoping that one day whoever it is, it might not be Dana at that point, but whoever it is decides that you're the guy they're going to market and they're going to promote because you won 2 or 3 fights in a row. You could be a guy with 7 wins, 9 wins, Bilal Muhammad, 10 wins, whatever it is. 11 wins was, jiu-jitsu guy. Anyway, you could have a shitload of wins in a row and the UFC doesn't pull your number, man, and say, hey, you know what? We think we can market you. We're going to get behind you. We're going to help blow you up. Sean O'Malley, Conor McGregor, so forth and so on. You could be one of those, or you could be one of the hundreds of other people whose name never gets called to be the main guy or main girl. Or you could say, man, fuck the fame. I'll take the cash and go to another organization that may not be as big. Fighters fight. If you think you're going to go, and it's been proven many times, people you leave the UFC, go to another organization and lose. People from other organizations come to the UFC and win. So the best fighters, man, that's always changing. Fighters fight. A lot of them win. They're great ones. There's some really good ones that win a lot. And then there's some that, they're not going to get as many wins. But it doesn't make them not a tough opponent, not a hard fighter. And that guy that has, 10 wins in a row could lose to the person that, lost, 2 of their last 4. So then what? Are they no longer the greatest fighter anymore? I don't know, man. All I can say is the UFC has what they have is a package and a loyal fan base and the ability to say almost anything to that fan base, and the fan base either believe them, stick by them, support it ignorantly a lot of times, or you just deal with it as a fan because you enjoy fighting or you enjoy the combat sports or you enjoy whatever it is, and you just try your best to ignore the idiocy of some of the fan base. So yeah, it's a package. They sell their package, people buy it, people love it, and they're able to market their stars a lot better than some of these other organizations, unfortunately, at least for the moment. Hopefully these people figure it out, hire some people that are worthwhile to help do this, because there's some great fights happening and I don't think people know enough about them. So if I'm in one of these places, One Championship, PFL/Bellator, or any other organization, the thing I'm trying to do most is market. I'm not leaving it up to the fighters. I'm letting them do their thing, but I'm trying to push them too. What can I do to get cameras on you and get your story out? To me, it's the most important thing. It's the thing that resonates with the fans, and it's the thing that makes the fans want to go see the fighters. There are fighters that say ridiculous things, but the fans like them, and they will go see them just based off of their personality. So I would offer, get your marketing up. Anyway, this is a short one, man. I just want to jump in and talk about the Takeru versus Superlek. I feel like that's going to be man, I hope it lasts a while. And Takeru is known to like heavy early knockouts sometimes. So I'm hoping this is not what we see. I'm hoping that it goes on so we can really get a good feel about, how well these guys are matched up against each other and what they can actually do. On that note, if you like the show, tap the like, hit the subscribe button, tell a friend, pass it along. I hope you liked the video from earlier. If you want to stop by the gym, you know the deal, www.luckysmt.com. Drop us a line. Hit me up directly on Instagram at Lucky's Muay Thai. Roberto Carrero handles the BJJ program. Hit him up at Carrero BJJ, also on Instagram. And I love y'all, man. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy these fights on One Championship if you get a chance to watch them. And I'll see y'all next week. Peace. I'm out.
This world'll take a good man and they change him to a villain when the system's been set up by racists trying to kill him. I just wanna